I transmigrated into a novel I wrote myself, becoming the youngest and most doted-upon child of the prestigious Johnson family. My older brother Ryan, whom even the servants could casually humiliate, happened to be the protagonist of my own story. Only after witnessing it firsthand did I understand how cruel those few casually written tragic settings truly were for a child. From that day forward, the Johnson heir would accept no comfort except from Ryan. At my first birthday party, this chubby-cheeked baby bypassed glittering jewels, antique calligraphy sets, and priceless jade carvings. My stubby limbs pumped determinately across the marble floor as a swarm of anxious adults hovered behind me, their eyes brimming with equal parts adoration and apprehension while indulging my exploration. That baby was me. After navigating around furniture legs and pillars with toddler persistence, I finally crawled into the most inconspicuous corner. My tiny fingers closed around a pant cuff. Straining my neck upward, I flashed a toothless grin. Got you. The 5-year-old boy before me looked more like a malnourished 3-year-old. His crisp white dress shirt hung limply from bony shoulders, while shiny leather shoes gaped at the heels from never being properly broken in. He stared down with eyes far too cold and calculating for any child, the numb emptiness in his gaze shifting into something darker when I clung to his leg. I shivered. Since when did 5-year-olds radiate such terrifying intensity? This was Ryan, my brother, heir to the Johnson legacy, currently enduring what I'd casually scripted as a challenging childhood. And his suffering was about to escalate dramatically because of the family's new golden child to me. Ryan wasn't just any tragic protagonist. He was the cornerstone of my corporate revenge saga, complete with soap opera parentage, Dickensian childhood, and eventual meteoric rise to build a business empire. His origin story read like cheap drama. A maid's misguided infatuation, spiked drinks compromising the Johnson heir weeks before his fairy-tale wedding, and the subsequent cover-up that left the pregnant woman destitute. 2 years later, she'd reappeared at the Johnson estate with a living, breathing stain on the perfect marriage. To my fictional patriarch, this child wasn't a son but a walking monument to humiliation, proof he'd been outsmarted by a servant. For Mrs. Johnson, this perfectionist woman saw the child as a thorn festering between her and her husband, feeling nothing but disgust each time she laid eyes on it. One could imagine how wretched the child's existence would be in the Johnson household. The adult's resentment inevitably rained down upon this innocent soul. Years later, when Evan, the youngest son of the Johnson family, was born, Ryan's tragic childhood reached its devastating peak. A child's cruelty often outshines adult malice. With the family's passive encouragement, Evan grew increasingly unhinged. His relentless bullying haunted Ryan throughout adolescence until our protagonist eventually broke free from the family. Of course, as the main character, Ryan's origins couldn't be that simple. The truth was, Ryan never belonged to the Johnson bloodline. The real Johnson heir had died on the day DNA results confirmed his illegitimacy. Ryan was merely a discarded infant used as replacement. His biological father turned out to be a tech titan, a crucial asset in his future empire building. When Ryan eventually rose to power, Evan suffered the most gruesome fate. They broke his limbs and dumped him on a reeking fishing vessel where he writhed in agony, flesh rotting with maggots until his final breath. This realization chilled me to the bone. Because now, I am Evan, the youngest Johnson heir who grabbed his brother during his first birthday party. From that day, I'd throw scarlet-faced tantrums, refusing to eat unless Ryan stayed nearby. The waterworks would miraculously stop the moment he appeared, my chubby hands eagerly clutching the milk bottle as I guzzled it down. I let out a mortifying milk burp, reaching my dimpled hand toward the stoic boy guarding my crib. Cold disdain flickered in Ryan's eyes, but he didn't pull away, not with servants watching. Goot Jay, I babbled desperately. Thank God I reincarnated early enough. I could still rewrite Ryan's tragic childhood and save myself from that horrific ending. I don't want to go to school. Don't want to leave Ryan. I clung to his leg years later, my acting flawless after constant practice. Tears pooled in my upturned eyes. The once frail boy had grown taller, his clothes now properly fitted. He pried my fingers loose with deceptive gentleness. We talked about this, Evan. Be good and I'll pick you up after class. My lower lip trembled. But glacial warning flashed in his eyes. I swallowed my whimper. Promise you'll come? Ryan nodded, the ghost of satisfaction curling his lips. I waved reluctantly. Bye, Ryan. Only after getting in the car did I let out a quiet sigh. Truly my protagonist. His mental fortitude was unmatched. Even at this young age, the occasional intensity he displayed could be downright intimidating. Despite my wholehearted devotion, always letting him have the first bite of snacks, first turn with toys, playing the role of a spoiled younger brother to perfection, he remained aloofly polite. Sometimes when my clinginess tested his patience, that sudden shift in his expression would startle me into backtracking with clumsy antics. My excessive dependence forced the Carter parents to revise their original plan to abandon Ryan. They kept him by my side, at least ensuring basic living standards. Looking back, the original Evan had been ruthless, daring to bully the future tycoon instead of cowering like others. With grim determination, I marched into kindergarten. I collected every gold star possible, seizing every chance to show off achievements to Ryan. We had time, this required patience. At M University basketball court, Derek grabbed my collar as I tried to leave. Where you running off to? I swatted his hand away. Let go. I'm leaving. Best 2 out of 3 hasn't even finished. Derek complained. We had reservations for tonight. You promised post-game dinner. When he kept clinging, I kicked him off. Screw off. Important business. His voice turned acidic. Got a girlfriend now? I bolted. Today was Ryan's birthday. I'd never missed one. The adult Ryan had already begun building his business empire, long freed from the Johnson family's control, thanks to my years of relentless brother worship campaign. His relationship with the Johnsons avoided the original storyline's mutually destructive hatred. The black sedan at campus gates revealed a man in tailored charcoal suit, dark strands falling across his forehead. My brother worship instincts activated automatically upon seeing that face, conditioned response in full effect. I lunged forward. Ryan! He leaned over to buckle my seatbelt, fingertips brushing my temple. You're sweating from rushing, his deep voice noted. Gulping the water he handed me, I automatically said, wanted to see you sooner. Would have been here ages ago if Derek hadn't blocked me. Ryan's fingers tapped the steering wheel. Derek? New friend? From basketball club. Decent player, almost as good as me. Seems Ev's making lots of new friends. Won't have time for me soon. His casual tone didn't fool me. I straightened immediately. Never. You're most important. My entire life's purpose. His large hand ruffled my hair as quiet laughter escaped him. This heartwarming scene of brotherly affection satisfied me deeply. We'd fought hard for this moment. The turning point in our relationship had come from an unexpected crisis. On the winding mountain road leading to the vacation villa, a severe rollover accident occurred. The driver died instantly. Ryan's legs got trapped, leaving only me mobile. The smell of gasoline and flames froze my mind. In this life-or-death moment, teenage Ryan looked utterly resigned to being abandoned. He calmly said, "Go." Tears immediately streamed down my face. Indescribable pain crawled through my chest. Sobbing, I crawled out through the shattered window. Minutes later, I returned clutching a rusted metal pole, tears still flowing. Finding a gap in the wreckage, I wedged it in and strained with all my might. One thought consumed me: Ryan couldn't die here. My palms bled as snot and tears covered my face. I won't let you die. The moment we escaped the vehicle, flames engulfed it completely. Shaking with adrenaline, I gripped Ryan's hand tightly. My uncontrollable sobs stemmed both from terror and the devastating realization that in the world I'd created, Ryan found no happiness. That day marked the first time Ryan actively reached for me. He pulled me into an embrace, murmuring, "Don't be afraid," against my hair. Every year since, only we two celebrate Ryan's birthday. Unlike my own lavish Carter family galas, no others remember his special day. This used to break my heart. I obsessed over perfect rituals: cakes, gifts, candles, wishes. Others get these, so should my brother. Over time we simplified. This year, gourmet takeout covered our table. My eyes kept darting to the liquor cabinet. Grinning mischievously, I suggested, "How about uncorking something special?" The cabinet held premium spirits I'd been itching to try. Birthday Ryan proved unusually indulgent. Standing, he warned. One glass only. I gulped half the expensive wine, barely tasting it. Adulthood rules, I thought hazily. While grateful for our bond, I sometimes chafe under Ryan's strictness. No smoking, drinking, late nights, or school romances. Angry Ryan terrifies me. The empty glass slipped from my fingers. Ryan lifted me from the chair. You're drunk, Evan. Clinging to the chair back, I mumbled protests. His voice softened with amused tolerance. No more. Bedtime. I stubbornly focused on the wall clock. As the hands aligned at midnight, I beamed. Happy birthday, Ryan. The words slurred as darkness swallowed me. The moment I finished speaking, my fist thudded against his chest. His suddenly darkened gaze remained unseen as his arms locked around me, a suppressed sigh escaping against my neck. When I woke, afternoon light flooded the room. Fishing out my phone, I saw messages from Ryan. Ryan, had to swing by the office. Be back late. Ryan, heat up the food on the table before eating. I absent-mindedly sent a hugging emoji in reply. According to my story's timeline, Ryan's career should be in its hectic startup phase. Yet he moved through each day with infuriating composure, even finding time to play disciplinarian. Textbook main character behavior. After showering, I wolfed down a few bites of lukewarm pasta. Just as I contemplated gaming to kill time, Derek's location pinged my phone. Derek? Chicken. Bet you won't show. Derek. Let's settle this once and for all. Evan. Better start praying. I growled at the screen, yanking on fresh clothes. The apartment Ryan chose sat 3 blocks from campus, though I'd barely used my dorm since moving in. By the time I arrived, Derek's crew had already played multiple rounds. Ready to lose? Derek slung a sweaty arm around me. Get your swamp monster self away. I shoved him off, wrinkling my nose at the gym stench. He straightened, eyes narrowing. What's with your mouth? I ran my tongue over the tender spot. The slight swelling had lingered since morning. Chapped? Maybe. Chapped? His smirk turned knowing. That all? Since when are you my dentist? I rolled my eyes, moving toward the locker room. His grip snagged my collar. New barbecue joint on South Street. Their brisket melts like butter. My stomach growled its approval. Ryan wouldn't be back for hours anyway. Fine. But you're buying. Later. I demolished my third slider while ignoring the beer Derek pushed toward me. Scared of a little buzz? He shook the bottle tauntingly. Ryan skinned me alive. Since when do you take orders? He snorted. You wouldn't get it. I stole his cola instead. Only child syndrome. The night spiraled into drinking games where I lost spectacularly, competitive fury mounting with each defeat. By the time we stumbled onto the sidewalk, downtown's office towers had gone dark except for scrolling LED billboards. Good night, good night, good night. My blood ran cold. Fumbling for my phone revealed a black screen dead. Shit. Curfew breaker achievement unlocked. Ryan's wrath incoming. I carefully turned the doorknob. Dim light spilling through the crack. Ryan might not be home yet, I thought wishfully. Tiptoeing past the foyer, I was immediately hit by the acrid smell of cigarette smoke. My throat tightened. Ryan rarely smoked. When he did, it meant he was in a really bad mood. The living room's 2 amber lamps cast intersecting shadows across his silhouette. Backlit and still wearing his work suit, Ryan looked unervingly glacial. The ember at his fingertips pulsed like a warning beacon. Ryan, you're still up? I rasped, nervously wetting my lips. Ash drifted down in the darkness as his voice cut through the silence, devoid of inflection. Why didn't you answer your phone? It wasn't a question. I shuffled forward like a chastened child. My phone died. I'm sorry. The heavy quiet stretched until Ryan abruptly stood. No texts. No calls. Staying out all night. He closed the distance between us, calloused fingers tilting my chin upward. And you've been drinking. The sharp scent of bourbon betrayed me. Please, I whispered, blinking rapidly. I didn't mean to worry you. Ryan released me with icy detachment. Stop calling me that. Clearly I can't control you anyway. The slam of his bedroom door reverberated through my bones, equal parts fear and bitter hurt twisting my insides. He hadn't spoken to me like this in years. My revived phone buzzed relentlessly with notifications. Ryan 9:03 p.m. Out? Ryan 10:17 p.m. ETA? Ryan 11:48 p.m. Don't stay too late. Ryan 1:26 a.m. Location? I'll pick you up. Ryan 1:59 a.m. Evan. Answer. Guilt churned in my stomach. I hurled the device across the bed, face planting into the pillow. Ryan's anger always burned cold and lasting. 2 days of radio silence later, I stared blankly at storm clouds gathering beyond the classroom window. Earth to Evan. A classmate nudged my elbow. You've been spacing out all morning. Spacing out? More like mentally drafting apology letters. Hypothetically, I slumped backward. How'd you make things right if your brother was pissed? The guy grinned. Easy. Let him punch you. Works every time. Throw hands? You think I'd survive that? I pulled out my phone and bombarded Ryan with apologetic memes. But he didn't respond to a single one. I ignored Derek's text asking me to play basketball, darting home right after class and staying holed up until midnight when I finally heard the faint click of a lock overriding the thunderstorm. Rainy nights used to be my golden ticket as a kid. What better excuse to crawl into my big brother's bed during thunderstorms? My palm hovered over Ryan's doorknob, turned easily. Lightning flashed through half-drawn curtains, illuminating my creeping silhouette and the human-shaped lump under his comforter. Doesn't matter if you're ignoring me. I'll make the first move, I whispered, crawling onto the mattress. Heat rushed to my ears as I manufactured an excuse. The storm's too loud. I can't sleep alone. Ryan's back remained turned, his breathing suspiciously even for someone who sleeps like a Navy SEAL. I inched closer until my nose almost touched his t-shirt. Can I stay tonight? No answer. No rejection either. I became a human inchworm, wriggling until my forehead rested between his shoulder blades like old times. Silence means yes. My ice-block feet found his warm calves. The contact made me sigh. Might as well plaster my entire freezing body against his personal heater. Even the dead would wake from this leeching. Finally, Ryan flipped over with a growl. Evan. Thunder cracked as lightning revealed his stormy expression. Those intense eyes I've never quite dared meet. There's something feral in that gaze. The kind of magnetic danger that screams main character energy. I cranked up the puppy dog eyes. You're not mad anymore? Mad? What's the point of... I launched into his chest, nuzzling like an over-affectionate golden retriever. It matters. You're the best brother ever. I've been miserable without you. Couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. Pride? Overrated. Ryan's forgiveness was worth every cringe-worthy plea. His breathing hitched. After an eternity, his calloused hand gripped my neck like scruffing a misbehaving kitten. Enough. No more stunts. The unspoken or else hung heavier than the thunder outside. The ultimate mama's boy nodded frantically. To avoid hardship, Evan chose an art major despite the Carter family's objections. Let Ryan handle the dirty work of managing the corporation. Our college hosted an annual exhibition, and as a professional brother worshiper, I created sibling-themed artwork. I immediately sent Ryan an invitation, though his recent hectic schedule made attendance uncertain. Circling my piece, I snapped photos from every angle while selecting images to share with him. Your creation? Derek materialized in a black leather jacket, studying my work. For sale? This is Ryan's birthday gift. Clarified. Phone confirming the photo delivery. The piece would go to him post-exhibition. Derek tilted his head. Last I checked, the Johnson family only has one heir. So this brother you keep mentioning, knows he much? I cut him off. He shrugged playfully. Can't blame a guy for wanting to know you better. He became my shadow for the day, even crashing our department dinner. Evening chill made me shiver roadside. Let me drive you, Derek offered. No thanks. Ryan's picking me up. Evan, when did you last cut the umbilical cord? He teased. I yawned tearily. None of your business. His smirk faded as he brushed my damp eyelid. Such a baby. Harsh honking interrupted us. Ryan's angular profile appeared in a descending car window. The vehicle's atmosphere turned glacial during the ride. Had dinner? I tried breaking the tension. Who was that? Ryan's voice could frost glass. Derek? Just a basketball buddy from the club. Silence reclaimed the space between us. Trailing him into the house, I puzzled over his renewed coldness. The front door clicked shut as Ryan suddenly cornered me in the foyer, his broad frame caging me against the entryway. What's wrong? I stammered. His words fell like gavel strikes. I dislike your closeness with Derek. Actually, I dislike your closeness with anyone. I stammered helplessly. Ryan, I don't understand what you're talking about. He bent down, eyes dark with primal hunger. You will. My mind went blank, surrendering to his advances. When his feverish mouth claimed mine, the last thread of sanity snapped. This wasn't my plot. Did I fucking get transported into a fanfiction? I shoved him away violently. Ryan, have you lost your mind? We're brothers. He caged me against the bed frame with terrifying calm. If that's your only concern, don't worry. I share no blood with the Carter family. My breath hitched, he knew. The plot was accelerating beyond control. When had he discovered the truth? When had this twisted obsession begun? His thumb brushed my trembling lips. No more running. You're mine, Evan. This truth remains unchanged. After that day, the penthouse became my gilded prison. Biometric locks sealed every exit. I screamed, fought, bargained, begged. The security monitors blinked indifferently. Footsteps echoed outside the bedroom. I dove under the covers, feigning sleep. The mattress dipped as Ryan's arms scooped me up, still wrapped in the comforter. Thrashing free left me panting and exposed. His mouth descended in relentless assault until I yelped from the sharp bite on my earlobe. Starving yourself today? His clinical tone contrasted the bruising grip on my wrists. How predictable. Heat flooded my cheeks. The food trays remained untouched. My pathetic rebellion against the surveillance cameras hidden in every corner. Let me go, I whispered. Ryan's laugh held winter chill. Adorable. The mirth vanished. Hurt yourself again and I'll have the nutritionist administer 4 drips daily. Tears spilled over. Please, Ryan. You're scaring me. His sigh brushed my temple. And if I loosen the leash, you'll vanish like morning mist. Calloused fingers traced my jugular. Better to keep my songbird caged where I can cherish it properly. The bone-deep certainty in his voice froze my blood. This wasn't manipulation or temporary madness. Ryan would rather break my wings than risk me flying away. After speaking, Ryan released me and stood up. He tossed a black phone onto the sheets, stating calmly, "Answer if it rings." The door clicked shut behind him as the shrill ringtone immediately pierced the silence. My fingers trembled slightly before pressing accept. "Sweetheart? It's Mom," crackled through the receiver. The door swung open again as I ended the call, Ryan balancing a tray of steaming food. Our eyes locked across the room, tension thickening the air between us even before I voiced the accusation. "You moved against the Carter family." He set down the tray with deliberate calm. His voice roughened. "I won't watch you self-destruct." The silent battle stretched until my gaze dropped in concession. "I'm hungry." Each spoonful of silky porridge mocked my earlier hunger strike. Warm proof of how easily my defiance crumbled. Night after night brought the same suffocating ritual. His furnace-like embrace pinning me to the mattress, calloused palms mapping forbidden territories until frightened whimpers escaped my throat. "Ryan, please don't. Patience isn't infinite. Little fish." His warning vibrated against my neck, the pet name twisting cruelly from childhood endearment to predator's taunt. Thunder rattled the windows as I stared at week-old storm clouds, game controller abandoned. The front door slammed. Silence. Then the heavy thud of a body collapsing. I found him sprawled in the foyer, whiskey fumes clinging like battle smoke. His eyes burned liquid fire when mine darted to the locked exit. No escape there. As I bent to help, iron fingers yanked me down. His mouth crashed against mine with the desperation of a starved beast, all teeth and claiming tongue, pinned wrists, grinding hips, the sickening tear of denim. "Ryan." The plea tore raw from my throat as tears spilled over. He froze, ragged breath scalding my cheek. For one suspended heartbeat, the monster warred with the man who'd once bandaged my skinned knees. When his grip loosened, I scrambled backward until cold wall met my spine, both of us trembling in the aftermath of nearly crossed lines. I shuddered violently, my entire body trembling as I struggled frantically. Fear choked my voice into a sob. Ryan, don't. You can't do this to me. Ryan Johnson gripped my chin with bruising force, his voice hoarse yet resolute. I told you, you have to accept this. There's no other way. I stared directly into those familiar eyes, desperation hardening my resolve. I hate you, Ryan. His pupils constricted abruptly. The fierce beast seemed to have its vulnerable spot exposed, freezing mid-action. Time stretched endlessly before he released me, staggering to his feet. His hand hovered over the door handle. You've always said, Ryan, you're my favorite since we were kids. Every time, I wanted to keep that affection all to myself. Now I see, I'll never truly have it. His calm delivery contrasted violently with our earlier frenzy. The burning intensity in his eyes dimmed, replaced by hollow emptiness. The door clicked open. Leave. I don't remember fleeing down the stairs, just the cold rain slapping my pajama-clad body as I dashed barefoot into the storm. My trembling hand grasped a taxi door handle. I glanced back. The steel and glass monolith loomed ominously under thunderclouds, his penthouse lights extinguished. Memories flooded me, 15-year-old Ryan in that life or death situation, uttering those same words with identical detached finality. Raindrops blended with tears on my face. I could return to the Carter family, to Dad, Mom, grandparents who'd cherished me since infancy. But Ryan, who'd celebrate his birthdays? Remember his coffee order? In every version of reality, he remained solitary. The taxi horn blared impatiently. My fingers slipped from the handle. I found him exactly where I'd left him, slumped in the foyer. His gaze, when he looked up, mirrored that distant expression from my childhood, when I'd clutched his pant leg as a toddler. Empty. Desolate. You came back, he stated flatly. Now it was Ryan looking up at me with those deadened eyes, the roles cruelly reversed. The words cut into my heart like a blade. I shook my head dazedly, reaching out trembling fingers toward him. I don't know, Ryan. I'm scared. Scared of everything you've done to me. That's why I wanted to run away. But the thought of leaving you, it hurts. It hurts so much I can't breathe. Hurts like I'm dying. What should I do? Tears streamed down as I choked out. Ryan, what should I do? Ryan caught my hand with bone-crushing force, pulling me into a suffocating embrace. His voice rumbled against my ear. Don't be afraid. Life seemed unchanged after returning to campus, except for Derek practically bouncing off the walls with frustration. What's wrong with you lately? Ignoring texts, missing calls, disappearing act and all. His anger melted into concern as he eyed me. You look terrible. Are you sick? I had lost some weight recently. Not that I could explain why. Couldn't exactly say just being coerced by my brother. Though his concern made me realize this troublemaker Derek had ulterior motives. Better keep my distance. I bolted after class ended. The glass skyscraper housing Ryan's company intimidated me. The assistant ushered me into a lounge stocked with snacks, drinks, and gaming consoles. Bored after 30 minutes of waiting alone, I cracked the door open only to freeze at nearby chatter. Ms. Sue, who's that kid getting VIP treatment? Mr. Johnson's younger brother. Wait, Ryan has a brother? Damn, he's gorgeous. Lower your voices. Memorize that face. Absolutely. I retreated, deciding against making a spectacle. Slumping on the leather couch, I pondered how things with Ryan felt almost normal now, except for the constant kissing, obsessive hugging, mandatory shared bed, and other things that made my cheeks burn, yanking my hoodie strings tighter until only a narrow slit of vision remained. I didn't notice Ryan's approach until his laughter broke through. Trying to cosplay a blobfish? He freed my face from the fabric prison. Done with meetings? I deflected, face flaming, pulling me onto his lap. Ryan nuzzled my neck. But I'll be working late. Keep me company, Evan? Like I had a choice. Okay. I mumbled into his collar. His lips found mine in a claiming kiss. Good boy. Time blurred until Ryan's voice pierced my drowsiness. Evan, time to go home. I blinked up at his familiar jawline, those intense eyes that softened as our noses brushed. His whisper could have melted glaciers. "Let's go home, sweetheart." I reached out and pulled him into an embrace. Enveloped in this warmth, I thought, maybe this isn't so bad after all. Ryan's perspective won when I opened my eyes again. I felt the first flicker of absurdity. That tedious, meaningless existence. And now I had to relive it. But something shifted this time. I looked down to find Evan, that fool, crawling at my feet, grinning with those ridiculous exposed gums. Disgusting. He kept pretending to be simple-minded, but I saw through it. He wasn't Evan. Not the spineless weakling I remembered with those slimy, nauseating eyes. This version? Still an idiot, but tolerable. Like a dim-witted goldfish swimming over for crumbs whenever I tossed them. Since he wasn't the real Evan, I decided against killing him. The chubby goldfish clung to me, chirping brother, all day. When his pestering grated on me, I'd flash a warning glare. He'd instantly turtle into himself, trembling, amusing. The mountain road car crash became my final test, to uncover his motives. He panicked, tears streaming, utterly pitiful. "Leave," I ordered. His sobs intensified, watching him scramble away crying. I scoffed. Not at him, but at myself for expecting what, exactly? I rarely miscalculate. Yet that night, shivering in the wreckage, he clawed through broken glass with bleeding hands, babbling about saving me. Ridiculous. And yet, something twisted softly in my chest. Fine. Let him play hero once. Ryan's perspective too. I checked my phone by the entryway. 19 minutes later, he was back in my arms. Soaked, red-eyed, trembling. I bathed him, changed his clothes. He flushed but didn't resist. We lay together in the dark, exhausted from running and rain. He fell asleep instantly. I studied his peaceful face, those long lashes fluttering occasionally. So docile, so naive. He actually believed I'd let him go. What he didn't realize, if he'd truly left, I'd have tracked him to the ends of the earth. Within 24 hours, he'd returned to me. A single day was my absolute limit. Pretending to be drunk had been an act, a desperate ploy to force his hand. My dwindling patience had evaporated entirely. I refused to wait any longer. He came back, so perfectly obedient. This level of compliance would only get him devoured alive in the outside world. I tightened my embrace, pressing a reverent kiss to the crown of his head. "Evan," I murmured against his hair, "you'll spend this lifetime swimming safely within my grasp." My lips curved as I breathed in his familiar citrus scent. "After all, you came into this world for me." A dark chuckle escaped me, fingers tangling possessively in his golden locks. "And my whisper carried the weight of a vow. Exist entirely for you.